And welcome back, Mindsetters. Hope you had a nice little break there. And as I said, you did whatever you had to do, and now you're back, you're focused, you're ready, and you're paying attention. Got your pens and pads out, and you're going to make some notes because I'm loving what's happening on the page. Just want to say thank you. And again, I'm going to say a little wave to Stephanie. She's always on the page, so I just say, you know what? Thank you for posting. On that note, this is where I hand over to Claire. Claire, take it away.
Cool, thanks, Ha. All right. So, in the break, hopefully you've got something to kind of get you going through our last little segment. All right. Seems like a little bit of a trivial question when you think about packing cans into a box. All right. But remember that this is going to apply to various different areas of your life, not just packing cans. Okay. So, I always tell my learners that you don't want to look like the dog who accidentally tries to squish in the extra can when you know that it shouldn't fit. Okay, so yes, it's a trivial question, but it's a pretty good thing to think about because you never know when your image is going to be on the line. So, next question says, are there any other alternate ways in order to pack the tins into the box? So we said already, standing them on their circular base and packing them according to that kind of dimensions or according to that arrangement. The other method, instead of taking the can and packing it this direction, we can turn it so we can pack it this direction. Not common, okay? In most cases, obviously, it's just that's the kind of the standard way to do it. There's nothing wrong with saying that we can't turn it on its side, especially when we're trying to think about how many, we want to try and get the most amount of cans that we possibly can into this box, okay? To maximize or to minimize our costs. Right, so the next question says, are there any alternate ways to pack the tins into the box? Yep, there are. All right, so let's quickly have a look. So the other way to do it, I'm just going to draw a little sketch so that you understand what I mean. All right. So the other way to do it would obviously to be packing it in that direction instead of packing it on the cylinder base. Right. Question C says, which method of packing allows you to pack the most tins into each box? Okay, so we can't make a conclusion until we've actually worked out how many will fit if we turn them on their side and we calculate how many tins there are. So we already know that in the other situation that we managed to fit 32 cans into the box. Okay, now turning them on their side, can we fit any more? Or are we going to fit less? Let's find out. All right. So drawing a quick sketch, we know that the height was 11 centimeters. So obviously now, because it's lying on its side, we're dealing with a length instead of a height, okay, because it's lying down. And then the diameter, which was 8 centimeters. Okay. Looking at our box. All right. So our box was 66 centimeters by 33 by 13. Okay, so let's just draw another quick sketch. So 66 centimeters in length, all right, 33 centimeters in breadth, okay, and then a height of 13 centimeters. Okay, so taking the cylinder now, and I'm basically saying how many will fit in that direction. Right. Okay, so similar to what we've done before, the idea of how many will fit lengthways, so we're going to take 66, and now we're going to divide it by 11 instead of dividing it by 8, because obviously now we're working with the height of the can instead. So 66 divided by 11, that one's pretty straightforward, so we should be able to do that one. So 66 divided by 11, that means that we're going to fit 6 cans perfectly. Okay, so no decimals involved in this situation. Nice whole number to work with, right? So 66 divided by 11 gives us 6 cans. Okay, now looking at your breadth and looking at your height. So the cylinder now is facing a different direction, which means that our diameter, we're trying to figure out how many 8 centimeters will fit within our 33 centimeter width of the box. So 33 divided by 8, okay, on your calculators. So 33 divided by 8, okay, it's going to give us 4.125. So how many will fit exactly? Well, 4 will fit, and then we'll have a little bit of space left over. Okay. And then the last thing to think about is, are we going to have more than one layer if we do it this direction? So we've got 13 centimeters. We've got a diameter of 8. Obviously, my sketch isn't drawn to scale. It's just a sketch. So 13 centimeters. Each one of those is going to be 8 centimeters. Will more than one 8 centimeter fit into 13? Okay. If you know it straight away, obviously, you can write it down. If you don't know, we're going to work out 13 divided by 8. Okay, so on your calculators, 13 divided by 8. right? 1.625. So once again, we can't fit 2, okay, because 2 would we would have to have a minimum of 16 centimeters, and we only have 13. So in this case, once again, we're only going to be able to have one layer of cans, okay? So one can, okay, in terms of how many will fit into the height. Right, so how are we packing these things? We're going to put 6 across the bottom. It's going to be 4 cans deep, and it's going to be 1 layer high. And if we work out how many cans that is, all right, we're going to work out 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 1. Okay. So number of cans. Gives us 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 1. Okay, 6 times 4 is going to give us 24. 24 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 24 cans. All right, going back to the question. Sometimes we forget that. Okay, forget to go back to the question and actually read what did they actually ask me. I did a whole bunch of calculations, and now I don't actually remember what the original question was. So which method of packing allows you to pack the most into each box? So we've looked now at 2 different methods. The first method gave us 32 cans within the box, and the other one gave us 24 cans within the box. All right, so explaining now which method. So if you're going to say method 1, then you needed to explain to me that that previous method was method 1 and this is method 2. What I would do is explain how you've packaged it. In other words, did you lie it down on its side, or did you stand it up on its circular base? All right, so for me to answer the question nicely, okay, so that the marker knows exactly what you're talking about, I would say that, okay, so the most effective method, or the one that's going to give us, okay, the method that's going to give us the most tins within the box. Okay, so the method, okay, so the method of standing, okay, the box, oh, hang on a second, standing the can, not the box. Okay, standing the can on its cylinder base, or circular base, on its circular base. Okay, we'll fit more cans into the box. Okay. All right, so as I said, very similar question to the one when it came to working out the area of the floor. Okay, and that was obviously taking each of the dimensions of your can and working with the dimensions of the box in order to work out how many cans are going to fit into the box. Cool. Okay, the next question we're going to have a quick look at. We're just going to talk it through. We're not going to do all the calculations because, as said once before, they're all very similar. Obviously, the measurements are slightly different in each question, and the context is slightly different, but each one kind of uses the same idea over and over again, so you can keep practicing it to see whether you've got it right. Okay, so just quickly reading through the question. Okay, so now we've gone from having floor areas to putting cans into boxes. Now we've got boxes and we want to know how we're going to fit it onto shelves. All right, so when you read the question again, take note of the measurements of your box, take note of the measurements of the shelf, and then from there you're then going to need to decide, how am I going to arrange these boxes so that I can fit the most amount of boxes on the shelf without leaving any space. Okay, all right, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Okay, I think we've done quite a lot of that stuff. So let's look at something a little bit less of the same. Okay, something that hopefully you'll be a little bit more interested in, and that is shopping, because let's be honest, we're all interested in that. Okay, something that they give you is known as a floor plan or a shop layout, and they kind of ask you a few questions on that. So I'm just going to take a minute just to kind of look at, well, what are they actually showing us in this question? So if we just have a look, we've got something that maybe you're familiar with. They're showing us that we've got the shop CNA, we've got the shop Studdiford's, we've got Checkers Hyper, we've got the Woolworths sign. Okay, so if you recognize the Woolworths sign. And then there's some other symbols here and there that they indicate. So if you've never seen this before, or you've never gone to one of those information boards in a shopping center to try and find out where you are, because sometimes that happens and you have no clue where you are and you need to find out. Okay, just some of the symbols that they like to use. All right, that little symbol that looks like a funky little squiggle, all right, that's indicating that that's an escalator. In other words, they're saying that the shop has got 2 floors, so you'll probably need to take an escalator to move between the floors. Very important sign, okay, the Lou sign. Everyone knows you need to be able to recognize that sign in case you're in dire straits. Okay. Shop numbers, okay, something else that you need to have a look at. So in this case, we're looking at something like L52. That's indicating that the shop is on the lower floor and that it's the shop number 5052. Okay, so kind of ran out of time because we've been so hectically involved with calculating how many cans get into the box. Okay, so hope that today's been pretty useful for you in terms of thinking outside of the box instead of just what you normally do. I'm going to hand it back to you. Ta.
All right. So, what I'm gonna say now is that I was actually thinking like maybe what we should do next time is like to get mindsetters, because I know it's all about relevance. So I was thinking next time we need to have an example of like how many PlayStation boxes can I fit into my room, you know, something like that. Work around that, you know, mindsetters. Give us suggestions. Like if you want examples that are more relevant to you guys, post on the page. Let us know. That's why the page is there. You need to let us know. So make sure you talk to each other. Like I always say, mindsetters, if you see a mindsetter in trouble, make sure you help them out. And guys, just post. It's a forum for you guys to make sure that you can communicate with each other, not just with us here on at the schools. And on top of that, make sure that you check out the pictures and all those the albums and stuff of the artworks and of the photos, because those photos can be used them as diagrams. But for me, this is where I then sign off and say thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Ty, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.